in a moment. All right, this is us again. We are live. Welcome to our loser followers who did not get behind the scenes coverage.
Uh-oh.
Everyone on YouTube, or I guess on the podcast, you get the behind the scenes audio. That'll be included. Actually, I don't know. I don't know how to rip the. I guess I can download the video from Twitch. Like I said, this is more of a tech test than anything. We're just learning here. But welcome to the new and exclusive and special and exciting YMB. We are on YouTube and Twitch at the same time, as we promised we would like to experiment with. We said last week, like, hey, this might be our last episode ever. We did not fall for that. We are still going. So that's a plus if you ask me.
You guys almost got us. What is
Yeah,
this?
we told you we had no clue what was going on, and here we
Huh.
are today. So Tim, how's what's going on? You're not even home or something?
Yeah, I was about to say I'm confused because I'm now in somebody's attic, basically. It's a refurbished attic, but as I'm trying to find the best place to get reception and
Somebody's attic, whatever that means.
yeah, no, I mean I'm doing this while I'm being held prisoner. I hope you guys realize that instead of calling for help and instead of eating the food, that is actually probably what if I was taken like hostage or something, I'd probably just be, can I just get like, can you just stop Burger King and get me a burger? Just no bun. I don't want any carbs. I'm not going to get fat while I'm here. But yeah, I feel kind of creepy because I'm right up against the window and I'm kind of like looking out. I don't know if I should just be staring at the ground or if I'm allowed to look out a window down here because I can see right over in other people's houses. So it's a little bit weird, but it's nice. I feel kind of opulent when I live in other people's get thrown in people's attics, as I was saying. But yeah, this is because I don't like working a regular job. I prefer to just like I get paid to just have awkward interactions with people, like neighbors, when they're like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" Uh, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I think I did a podcast. I mean, so far now again, I can't really get too excited about this because it's only 2 weeks. But so far, I'm doing regular podcasts again. I have been. I think I can pretty much say honestly doing what I was saying I should be doing in that podcast. I won't go too into depth on it here, but check out that if you do want to listen to me just rant some more like I've done for the past minute now. This is called the Tim's 2 Cents podcast. So everything's going pretty well here. It's cold as shit.
Oh my
It
gosh,
was
I
like
know.
it was the negative. Daniel, I've part of my podcast I was saying I was going like I'm just kind of making myself go to a coffee place or someplace out of my house so I can like focus on say like 2 hours every day for writing, no matter what I get, just take that time out of the day. Uh, I ran my car throughout the day. Every single time like I drove my car, I'd run it for like an the first time I literally ran it for like 45 minutes before even trying to drive, just because it was just I'm turning it, and it's just taking a while to kick in. But
Wait, I'm
it has
confused. Why were you running it just to run it? To warm
to
it up or what?
yeah, for it to warm up just because of how because it was like -4 this morning, and my car is now 8 years old. So I'm trying, I guess, to baby it a little bit. And
I
then
mean, it's worse in
I'm,
some places. -4 is
no, I
nothing.
know. Well, that's what I called my grandmother yesterday because I was like, oh no, what happens if she falls? Like, that's all I did during the day was just think about my grandmother and my parents just like getting stuck outside. Um, but yeah, she's from Wisconsin. And so then those people, I think they're having we had like -4 and then wind chill and -17. I think they're having like -17 temperatures and then down to like
Holy
40.
geez.
Chicago got hit real bad. Anything
Yeah.
out in like the plains. What is it like out with you guys?
Oh, I mean, 70s in Phoenix, you
Okay.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I
We're
didn't
fine.
know how like I guess because it's still something like that could eventually reach you. I'm not saying it would go down anywhere temperature wise, but
Yeah, we're
would a
good for
cold front
now.
run for that long?
I don't know. I don't know how weather works. I do know that I don't know if it's related to the East Coast weather, but I do know that I mean, we have had cold spells in the past where
Yeah.
you know, that if you get below freezing here, it's a pretty big deal.
Oh
And
yeah. Yeah, I mean
Uh,
it's yeah.
and that can happen, and it sucks. So
That would be interesting has like since you've been there, has it snowed at all?
actually, I was not here, but over this Christmas, actually, when I was home in Pittsburgh, where you are, they did get a dusting.
Okay.
Not exactly. There are mountains around where I live, and you could see the dusting on top of the mountains.
Okay.
So they
That
didn't exactly get it like at their front door, but
Yeah, they can see it. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say because no matter, I mean, Arizona, it's creepy because it's just a bunch of like little towns in between, just a bunch of desert. But I do like the storms out there. Like I remember kind of just sitting there watching because you can see forever, and it's so different than Pittsburgh. So that'd be interesting to see like to see the snow coming down. But yeah, I'm sure that doesn't happen pretty much ever, like
yeah,
actually in the city.
I think it can, but yeah, not regularly. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was still cool. Like, hey, oh my gosh, there's snow at home. So for whatever
Yeah.
that's worth.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we're just not getting snow. We're just getting cold right now. I think we're maybe supposed to get some, but now that our Tim and Daniel's weather is taking off.
Yeah, that's our new show. I mean, why not? We are experimenting here, guys. I'll drop a reminder if anyone is out there or shows up. The place to be, well, actually, there's a couple places to be tonight. Like I said, we are on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. It's kind of a test run. If you jump in the Twitch chat, we'll toss you some free troll coin. So drop a chat there, drop a follow so you can get you can get in early next time and have a good chance of getting some free troll coin. If you're on YouTube, you jump in the chat. We'll read whatever you say. We that's if you're new to us, that's kind of what we always do. We read anything anyone says. So almost. Even if you get like a communist manifesto bot in the chat, we'll read a good bit of that. So feel
How
free.
common? I want how common are those? Because I guess I'd always it makes sense that they exist. I just never encountered one of those before.
I mean, that's a good question that uh, uh
They're
I mean,
anarcho-capitalist bots that just run around and go
we
taxation is theft.
yeah, I mean, we got a couple of them, but I don't know if that's just because we do have occasionally we get into political type stuff, or I don't know if they just go into every stream they can find, whatever the bots can search up or whatever. I don't know. That's a pretty good question. I don't even know like what the this is actually a serious question. Do you think that that's more just trolling, or do you think that that's literally someone out there thinks they're going to change minds by dropping communist manifesto bots in random YouTube chats?
I don't think they actually think they're going to change minds. I think it's just the kind of new form of propaganda. Like we don't have like we're not in a Cold War where we're dropping leaflets from planes or bombs or like fighting proxy wars. So, and this goes for like especially stuff on Reddit. I mean, YouTube as well, but it's just people kind of just like shout at each other. So a bot is literally just as useful
You know,
as having somebody who just repeats the same talking points.
I actually have thought about this lately. Like, obviously, I'd like to say, oh, of course I'm above that. Of course I'm above just believing whatever people say on Twitter. But it's unfortunately, I've caught myself, even in the cryptocurrency space, like you read a few comments like, "Oh yeah, I don't use Dash because they're not actually private." Like, I don't know anything about Dash, but if I saw like four or five people that I kind of trust tweeting like, "Oh yeah, I don't use Dash because of this and this," like that'd be enough for me. Like, I would not use Dash or whatever just like I'm just giving examples here. I don't mind Dash at all. I love Dash. But still, like I've noticed that like thought process happen in me where I just like read a few tweets and I'm like, yeah, why would I ever use that? Why would I ever use Ethereum or smart
Well,
contracts? Like, because that's dumb.
have you ever, and I always do it, and I feel like ashamed of myself, where it's like I have an opinion, then I read something, and the opinion completely changes, and then I can read something else, and the opinion like, and I'm so sure of it for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, you were just so sure the other way. Dude, you're being kind of dumb right now. But no, that's like that has to be how a decent amount of people get a lot of their information for stuff. I mean, I guess that's kind of what we're hoping for in that like we can kind of just get like through trust in who whatever these people how they represent themselves, we're hoping that we can get like a vicarious view of the world bigger than we could ever do by ourselves. So I mean, maybe we're going for this, but at the same time, we're kind of still like too stupid for this to kind of go out well most of the time. So like most of the time, that's gonna like people just say things on Twitter, and then you look at how many likes and retweets they get, and I'm just like, do this many people actually believe this, or are they doing it for a joke, or do they like is their whole thing just a joke? Like it's kind of, and I a lot of people like this idea about being like the lone wolf stand for logic against the sea of chaos, blah blah blah. But I think because of our kind of particular brand, almost even of how we look at libertarianism, how we look at morality, we are kind of segregated from a lot of not we're not like nobody's oppressing us, but as far as like how if we're gonna like talk to someone, I don't have a lot of people in my life or people that I like consume their art or consume whatever creative thing they do. I don't go, oh, let me figure out if this is a smart, like good person or a uh like I'm not looking for wait, I had a point. I think say if you have something to talk about, say something because I had like a better point to that. I think
Story of Tim's life. I had a point there.
it's because I'm so deep that I get lost, and I'm just like I can develop this idea even
I
more.
feel you. I
No,
feel you.
no, no. I mean that's being an asshole. But
Well, that does
uh,
remind me. I
yeah,
meant to say this. I meant to say this like 2 or 3 minutes ago or whatever. Because you mentioned your podcast, and I was just gonna say real quick, I'm the one that's behind on Tim's shows. So I got one out last week. I think I have two in the pipeline ready to go. So I'm working on catching up. Those will be out. But just for the record, Tim is nailing it. Tim's on it, and he's keeping up. And it's my fault for not being quite as up with it with him. Although I am doing all right. I'm getting there. So
I wasn't attacking you.
I was. I was.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you knew that I was behind, but I did. And so wait. So what were you saying? Like something along the lines of like you see people and you don't
I
even
think
like care if they're.
no, I think the point that I was getting to was that like I already feel like I don't have a lot of people that I think believe the same things as me or believe the same. Maybe it's because I want to make it too nuanced to feel like more of an individual. But a lot of people, and I've had this like conversation with people, sometimes an argument with people, or I'll be like, I don't have to. Like you say, you like something like a movie or a lot of time it's music and you're like, oh, I like this, and like, well, that guy's a douchebag, or that guy's blah. Like, no, I'm not talking about. You can kind of make an argument for supporting somebody if they're like physically violent or wrong that way or something like that. I still don't know that I wouldn't give somebody money if they're whatever was that good. I'm sure we spend a lot of money towards people all the time that do some bad stuff. But anyway, um, some not all people, but a lot of people seem to have this thing, and I remember doing this a lot more as a kid, where if you like a band or you like a movie, sometimes it's because it aligns with whatever you believe in or it strikes something like that. But a lot of times people just kind of like they like the music and then they go, oh, well, like they kind of make up this thing about liking the people because some people just like that. Like they can't just like a movie or just like a band. They have to be like, no, they're great and they're amazing because it's kind of it helps people believe in art and it helps them. But it's all kind of just people taking things too seriously, which is exactly what Twitter is. Like that, it shouldn't be that. It should be. That's why like older forms of like message boards, I think were better and a little bit. Not that they don't go crazy too. I mean, but it was less formal. Where Twitter now we have the president and people are having
Oh,
arguments.
jeez.
And there's people who are like, we're all going to die. Everybody's going to murder everybody. And then encrypted Bitcoin, everyone's like, well, this person is scam this person and that person. Blah, blah. All right, instead of everybody just being like, hey, fuck you, like or something like that, like
So,
or just
so,
posting, yeah.
so you're claiming that because it's so easy for anyone to be on the internet, like you no longer care if anyone's legitimate or anything. Like it's not even worth investigating. Or is that what you're
No,
saying?
I
Like,
mean me personally, I don't have a problem with going, yeah, I like this, and yeah, this person, it's hacky, or because there is something where the people have the thing of like this irony of like liking something because it's bad, but I don't like that either because it's not being honest. You can't like something because it's bad. Something about it is still good to you. I guess that's more what this was about. Was like everybody's being one, or sometimes you can't tell, but it seems like on Twitter the problem is everybody's being ironic, but then want to be taken seriously with stuff because
yeah, I mean
sometimes, and then
that's pretty
if
much
there's
us, to be honest.
no, you're not wrong. Yeah, yeah, because it's kind of like this. We don't want to just be the irony people, but I think that was like I I can't. Looking back at like when I was in high school, I remember that kind of just being really big, just in general, like kind of irony, just kind of like bullshit like that. Like what was popular as far as shows then, but I can't really remember that well. Um,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
yeah, I mean it's a complicated thing. I was reading an article actually just today, like about how Facebook and Google, like they well, it was a really long, detailed article, and to be honest, I didn't even understand it all. But it was kind of just saying how like they drove out traditional publishing, uh,
oh
and
yeah, yeah,
and like now they have so much control and that like they don't even have to appease the publishers because the publishers have no choice but to
yeah,
work with Facebook and work with Google. So anyway, and that it's kind of a similar idea, just like thinking about the internet and how many opinions are out there, including ours, and how easy it is to get your opinion out there. So all of a sudden, it's not it doesn't even matter if you're a publisher. Like it used to matter if you were a newspaper, you were like one of two newspapers in a given city or three. Now anyone can get their voice anywhere, so it's totally irrelevant. Like it's totally worthless to be a publisher or a content creator. What is valuable is content aggregation or finding the right content for the right users. And that's
yeah.
what Facebook
Middle,
and
yeah,
Google do.
yeah, yeah. Middle
And
like middleman stuff right now is it seems like pretty big. It just in general too,
yeah,
because
and
people, yeah, yeah,
well, I was just going to say before we get too far off, like philosophically, I don't think there's much of an argument for like, oh, publishing is the best. Everyone should be a publisher. Everyone should be able to publish. And I don't think there's an argument for like, oh my gosh, aggregation, search engines are amazing. They make our life so great. And then especially if you think of Google, you're like, oh, then they give you self-driving cars and VR. And like I'm not making any argument about any of that stuff about like what's good or what's bad or what's useful. But it is worth noting the very clear like change that happened. At one point, the publisher had a lot of control and a lot of clout, and now anyone can publish, and someone else has clout. And again, I don't claim to know which one is the ultimate be all end all greatest thing ever. It's just important to note that those kind of changes happen and they affect I mean, everyone, everywhere. So,
Yeah. I mean, those are especially you need to remember those whenever you people again, it doesn't matter what we say. The argument I have with somebody isn't going to affect policy. But people bring up, well, it's and again, I don't know where I go with this. I don't like hearing the arguments because it seems like now every issue that happens, that every like whatever side just kind of switches what the other side said before, and then it's like, well, if you don't like, blah, blah, uh, like
man,
Google, people will now kind of defend if you complain about Google. People, oh, you're just being a conspiracy theory. What are you worried about? And it's like they're a private company that should be fine with you. It's libertarian. It's like, yeah, they are kind of a little bit, like not really
man,
anymore.
right.
So yeah, I have like sympathy for people who are like maybe something should be done as far as like if we're going to give this much power to something, then like again, I don't want it regulated, but if for the amount of things that we do regulate, it doesn't make sense that just like one company is allowed
Right. Oh,
to
yeah.
yeah, just hoard all of it, even with how many users they're losing. I remember talking with you when I was last out at your place about how Facebook lost like some million bunch of users. They're
Right.
still just huge.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it is crazy. And I mean, it it's just the way things are. Like
Yeah,
companies,
yeah.
like back in the day, there were gigantic railroad companies that controlled a ton of stuff in a given area, and now nobody cares as much about the railroad companies. Like that just happens. Like it's not the end of the world, but it is still a real thing, and it still has
It,
real consequences at a
yeah.
given moment. And it's worth like saying, yeah, I know Facebook will be gone someday, but they do all this crap that I'm not happy with, so I'm going to talk about it. I mean,
Yeah, there's place for nuance in any discussion. I sound like an idiot, like oh, there's blah, 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 blah. But then also same thing with like with the railroad companies. Like most of those problems happen from not just out of control capitalism. Out of control capitalism is barter. That's all that is. But the problem with any of this stuff is where instead of like you're not just gaining business because you're best at your work. You're gaining business because you're best at lobbying. You're gaining space because you legally tie your opponents up so much that they can't afford to compete. But
yeah.
yeah,
So hey guys, I don't know how excuse me. I don't know how we got here. This was supposed to be a tech test and all of a sudden we're talking about barter and extreme
yeah.
capitalism.
I don't know
But
which one of us got off topic first. Probably
I
me.
mean,
Sorry.
I don't feel guilty because we are experimenting with the Just Chatting channel on Twitch. And so we're just chatting and I'm not going to feel guilty for that. But yeah, so I'm pretty content with this first test here. I still have to I'll go back and watch the YouTube video, I'll watch the Twitch video, see how the stream was, how the volumes were, all kinds of that stuff. But so far, just the fact that I've been able to do this after last week where I felt like everything was just like broken for me, I'll say I'm pretty content. I even got both chats, YouTube and Twitch, up in front of me, ready to hand out free troll coin. We got a few viewers here and there on both platforms, but that's not our priority at the moment. We are just like I said, this is more of a tech test than anything, and I'm pretty happy with where we are so far. I also said we're going to keep it short, so I'm going to wrap it up here. But like I said, it went well. We'll assess how I'll look at the videos and assess, make some adjustments. I'm assuming we'll be back next week. I really do want to keep on some kind of schedule, and so I'll just go ahead and say that we plan on being back next week. The place to be is you, me, and btc.com. And if you go to /live, that will every week update to the latest stream. It might be possible now Well, I know it's possible. I just have to decide what I want. I could probably embed Twitch and never have to change that redirect. It'll just be a permanent landing page that has our Twitch stream, whether we're live or not. It'll show recent videos or something. I bet you I bet you I could figure that out. So anyway, you, me, and btc.com/live. No matter what time of day, place, week, hour, whatever, it's going to be a relevant URL to go look up. So go look it up right now. And Tim, thanks for helping me figure this out. Obviously you weren't part of the test because your video. Oh, there he is. Everyone say hi. We can actually see Tim now.
Maybe a little bit. The light's not that good. I'm sitting next to a dog bed. Hello. Yeah, I didn't really know how well my data would hold up. It was fine with the audio. But yeah.
Yeah,
no,
it was way better when you went in the attic too.
But yes. No, here it is in the attic. That's the other thing. I didn't know about the video about showing too much. I don't know if I can get in trouble for that.
Ooh, yeah. If Tim shows too much on the internet, that's not good.
That's not even what I meant, but sure, that's even better.
There are other websites for that, Tim.
Well, somebody hook me up with them, please.
Guys,
I need some tokens. Sorry.
Thanks for being here. Drop us a comment or a tweet at you, me, and BTC. Just let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, if the frame rate sucked, if volume sucked, if this just chatting thing is good for you, if you like the idea of us just, hey, so the weather's cold, and by the way, extreme capitalism. Like if you're into that, let us know. If you're not into that, let us know. And if you want free troll coin, drop a follow on Twitch, because I think we're going to plan on starting the Twitch stream early and giving out free troll coin on a pretty regular basis. So drop a follow so you know when we're live. And I think that's all from me. Are you good, Tim?
Yep, I'm good. I'll probably.
All right, so we'll do one more perk for Twitch here. I'm going to go ahead and stop YouTube first, and then we'll give like another 30 to 60 seconds to Twitch. Who knows what you're going to get? So get over there quick if you're wanting to find out. All right, but bye YouTube. We love you, but we love Twitch better.